So, a couple of days ago, I was having a lunch, or no, it was a dinner with a bunch of friends. That friends, we had three lawyers, we had one accountant, we had one quality surveyor, and we had a media practitioner, which is me. And now the other ones beside me started debating about which sector is fundamental to the economy of a country or fundamental to the world. The lawyer said it's them because they legislate laws, they legislate, they draw up laws, they are the ones which argue the law and they create laws. So they feel they're important. The CA, the chartered accountant, said no, they are important because they are the ones who, you don't need lawyers a lot. That's what they said. You need an accountant every day because we are the ones who handle your books, who make sure that your economy in your country has enough money to keep on meeting its mandates. And then from there on, the quality surveyor and the engineer came in. They said, no, 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 guys. We, the engineers and the quality surveyors, are important. Because today we're sitting here on a balcony, on a high rise apartment. How do you think this happened? It was through engineering and mathematics and a quality surveyor who made sure that everything was being followed to the T. So the debate started. Accountants were like, nah, what? Then the lawyer was like, even in your accounting, there's accounting law, which is law again, which is connected back to us. So we are important. Accounting was like, no, you guys aren't important. You guys are just pompous, full of yourself. Engineers like, guys, even though you argue all these things, your cell phones, your televisions, right now we're listening to music via soundbar. There was there was what do they call them? There was an engineer. There was is it an electric engineer or do they call them it was an engineer who built it, and etc. etc. One is saying, then the engineer says, in a quality surveyor, because we have roads today and all these infrastructures that you guys can feel and touch were created by us. Then the lawyer is like, yeah, but then even though you guys are building these things, we are the people that legislate how you're supposed to build these things because you guys could cut corners. So we draw all these things up. And I'm sitting there and I go, guys, sorry, can I intervene? They go, okay, what do you have to say? I say, I think the most important sector is the agricultural sector. They ask me, what do you mean the agricultural sector? What do farmers have to do with anything? Then I said, guys, right now we are sitting on a balcony, which was built, of course, by an engineer, and law was written by a lawyer to say how this building should look, and an accountant released funds to allow this building to be built. But right now, you guys are consuming alcohol. You are drinking whiskey. You are drinking a Jameson. You are drinking a wine. You are drinking a beer, and you're also drinking a whiskey. Where do you think those ingredients, the basic ingredients, such as the wheat, the rye, the barley, the grapes, where do you think these things come from? They don't fall from heaven. No, they come from a supermarket. No, they come from a distiller. No, they come from a brewery. But I'm like, but think about it. Where do these ingredients that make these drinks, and we're even eating sausage and some meat, where do you think these meats come from? Beside the retailer you went to, the super chain, the super store that you went to right now to buy this food, where do you think this stuff come from, guys? They come from a farm. They come from a farm. The agricultural sector, farmers, men and women, are disrespected. Disrespected in terms of they're not given the respect they need, that they should be given. That's what I was telling them. They're not given the respect they should be given. Because these individuals work tirelessly with one of the most hardest business partner, taskmaster, which is Mother Nature, to produce your sausage, to produce the grapes for your wine, to produce the wheat and the rye, the barley for the beer, the hops for the beer, and to produce so many other, and the raisins that are used to make brandy. Farmers do this. Cattle fat is utilized to produce jet fuel, and other parts of the anatomy of the cow is used to make other things. So I said, then I told them, as much as the lawyers, the engineers, the accountant, the and doctors in the other sectors are important, we can never overlook the agricultural sector. Because if you look at most civilizations that have been established, they were always established on the basis of are they able to feed their people? And civilizations that were unable to feed their own people ended up disappearing, ended up being wiped out. This is why colonialization happened, invading of other countries. There were wars being fought in history Not because of gold or territory. Yes, territory, but most of the time it was because of food. Because the other people had more and the others had less. So I said, this argument that we're having, that you guys are having here, just speaks volume to the fact that the agricultural sector, the men and women that are involved in it, whatever form it is, are never really given their flowers and are never respected. These are the people that are producing your most basic food stuff. They produce an apple before it becomes an apple, before it's made into apple juice, apple puree, or apple jelly. They produce an apple that you are able to eat from today. They spend time, they deal with Mother Nature, they are fighting with external forces just to be able to feed you. This is why the retailers, some of the, not all of them, some retail spaces, shops, come and undercut the farmer. The butchery and the abattoirs undercut the farmer. They don't realize the sacrifices these men and women are doing just to be able to, so you guys can eat. But the lawyers and accountants and engineers and quality surveyors and doctors can feel important because the agricultural sector is not given its flowers. Had it been given its flowers, rather than us paying lawyers a huge salary, we would have to pay farmers a bigger salary because of what they do. They take something as simple as earth, water, wind, and machinery, and they marry it together to be able to create food, to be able to create a system for us. Like I've said this in an interview that I was interviewed once, where I've said, people can live a certain time without electricity. People can survive for a period of time without water. Some, if the municipality can pump water, some will sink boreholes, some will harvest rainwater, some will probably drive to the rivers and will collect water and store that. We'll find smart ways around that. But the one thing we cannot survive without is food. Is food. This is why you see our government, when they, most, maybe not the Namibian one, but when the other countries that are serious, like South Africa, they pump so much money into their food production because they understand that if people starve, people go to a shop, people go to the local farmers market and are unable to find eggs, or unable to find bread, or unable to find cabbages, unable to find food stuff. That's the day the country will go into anarchy. That's the day the country will go into anarchy because there's nothing to eat. And what is the old English saying that goes, a hungry man is an angry man. Try, try to reason with a hungry person and see what happens. Reasoning is gone because this is thinking. The tummy is thinking, and the tummy needs food. So it just brought me to that conclusion to say agriculture, people that are in the agricultural sector are not respected. If they themselves don't give themselves their flowers, no one will. This is why farm attacks happen in South Africa, and most people don't even flinch. I'm not calling it a genocide, I'm calling it a farm attack, murder, criminality. People don't flinch because they don't understand how important that man or woman that was killed probably plays in feeding them. The role he plays in making sure that that person has mealie meal, plants enough corn, maize, so you can be able to have mealie meal. People don't realize when they're stealing cattle from people, from farmers here in Namibia, that 25 cows they killed, they stole and they slaughtered and sold for a bottle of wine. They don't realize what difference that cows that were killed could have made to the meat market, to the prices of meat in the country. We don't take things into consideration because agriculture is considered. One person said it so well on my TikTok. He said, because agriculture is considered the business of the illiterate, of the stupid man, the not intelligent person. This is why it doesn't get its flowers. We live in a time today where we have where we pride ourselves on wearing suits and ties and carrying a title like advocate, doctor, a CA, engineer, quality surveyor, a actuarial scientist. Those sectors are more valuable than the most basic one that makes sure that an economy operates, and that is the agricultural sector, the food sector. All right, it is what it is today. One guy even gave an example on TikTok, said, this is why when you could be three people, a lawyer, a doctor, an accountant, and then the fourth one is a farmer. Because these three dress in a particular way. The shop, the car garage will treat these people different. But this farmer, because he's dressed khaki and he's probably dirty, he will not be given respect. He will be treated badly They want to get rid of him without probably realizing that he is able to pay all three of these people's salaries. But hey, like the one gentleman said on my TikTok, agriculture is not respected, and farmers are looked at as illiterate and stupid. Because I remember also when I was dating this girl, and her younger brother would always say that when they asked him like, "What do you want to be?" She'd say, "No, she wants to be a doctor." The other sister would say she wants to be an accountant. The younger brother would say, "Oh, he wants to go farm." And they're always threatening him, "You're not gonna go do farming. You have to do something big because in our family we do big things. Go study law or something. You can't go study to be a farmer." And it just shows you that we're not really people in the agricultural sector. Unlike myself, I'm not in it, but people who are in the agricultural sector are never really appreciated. They don't get their flowers. They don't get the respect. Even though they make all the statements that if you've eaten breakfast or you've eaten today, thank your farmer. I think people, because they can go to a shop, that's why they can go to a retail space. They can go to a fresh produce shop. They can go to Woolies. They can go to Food Lovers. They can go to Spar. They can go to Vurman. They can go to OK. They don't really understand that most of this food stuff they're eating come from a farm before they go to the manufacturing hub. But those are my 2 cents. What am I going to say, farmers? I think give yourself your flowers. People are not going to give you your flowers. Give yourself your own flowers. With that said, I just want to say bye for now.